So I went up to Solvang and I picked up the 32 from Pete. Now, Pete said he hadn't washed this car in 18 years. And when I look at it, I really don't want to do anything to this car, but clean it. So that's what we're gonna do today. I'm gonna go ahead and start just detailing this car. You know, it hasn't been washed. I'm gonna rinse it off, but my main goal is to get in and I need to do some engine work on this thing. So I'm gonna degrease the motor first, and then when I'm done with that, we're gonna pull it inside. I'll just hose it off first. We're gonna pull it inside, and then I'm gonna polish some of the paint, and I really wanna get into cleaning up the interior, but the car really doesn't need it any more than that. It's just a little tender loving care, because it's worth it. You see, when you look in here, there's a lot of rust, and it's just, what that's from is, we can put some stop leak in this radiator, and it'll stop that water pump from leaking the way it is. But Pete said he loved the fact that all this rusty water would come out, and it just helped to make the car look older. I don't want it to look old. I want it to look like it's just a 32 that's been cared for years and it's never been abused. I'm gonna go ahead and straighten some of the fenders. I'm not gonna beat them with a hammer. I'm just gonna use my hands, and I'm gonna straighten out some of the beads and take out some of the dents. I'm gonna leave that other patch on the other side with all the bolts, because that's the way they would do it. And even when the New Jersey, it had to be inspected, that's the inspection sticker, and that's the repair that had to be done to make sure that it would pass inspection. You couldn't have a cracked fender. But I'm gonna start out by just spraying this engine down with some WD-40 and let that soak in before I put a little degreaser on it and get that cleaned up. I'm just gonna soak everything with WD-40 because it'll get all the grease and all the grime. It'll soften all that up, and it'll be much easier to take off.
Just dream while the sun's overhead, and don't you wait till the evening, daydream instead. Just dream in your old rocking chair. Just dream, summer breeze in your hair. 'Cause there's a train at the station, it ain't going nowhere. Nowhere. Just dream.
I just want to get down to the original paint and clean it. I'm not looking to make a show car. I want a clean car. All that'll come off. Just let that WD-40 do its job.
Baby, baby, hold out your hand, and we will be there by the ocean. Put our feet in the sand.
Fun to see that original paint back there.
Just sit back, relax, and dream in your old rocking chair. Just daydream a while. Feel that summer breeze blowing through your hair. There's a train waiting at the station.
One of the reasons that I'm using paper towels to get all this WD-40 off is I don't want to wash it into the gutter just by hosing this off. The other reason is I can see what I'm working with and see how much paint is still left on each of the parts. I did get some California compliant degreaser, and when I'm all done cleaning it, I'm going to go ahead and hit it with a layer of that and hose it off before we take the car in.
Just dream, oh yeah.
Well, Pete told me he never washed his car after he'd owned it for 18 years, so here's the first wash in 18 years. All I'm gonna do is rinse it, and we'll clean it up once we get back from lunch.
wiping the best that I can, 'cause I'm the one and only man. Well, she's a pretty little mama. She got the curly
You know those flip forward seats in your SUVs that you think is so cool to get in and out of the back seat?
hair.
You know, they've been doing that for over 100 years.
Pretty little mama got the curly hair. She always want me here to stay. Don't you scratch my baby. Don't you squeeze my leg. Don't you take my money. Don't you steal my honey. Well, I give her my love the best that I can, 'cause I'm the one and only man.
This is what I'm talking about. It's just ugly. And the way I'm gonna clean that is with a razor blade and the vacuum, and I'm just gonna scrape that into the vacuum.
She's a nice little girl. She got the sweetest lips.
It looks like the window's broken here, but that's not the glass. What that is it's safety glass, and there's a plastic between the two layers of glass. The plastic is all shattered. That's what looks like the glass is broke, but it's not the glass, it's just the plastic. And that's something you can only get with age. So I would never want to replace that because it is the original and you can't reproduce it. I'm a little leery of how hard I should polish on these because I don't want to make it go away. That's the ashtrays. I'm gonna go ahead and clean those up before I put them back in as well. Well, that's a 92-year-old ashtray.
I love sunny California. I love sunny California. Io cerco un po' d'Italia in questi USA. Voglio cambiare aria where skies are blue. C'è un posto che è speciale e profuma di sud. California Room. California Room. California Room.
This was Clear Sight. This is Rain-X, basically, called Clear Sight. Some Howard Johnson straws. 200 applications. You're supposed to rub this on the windshield, and raindrops will go off and sleep. Crazy.
I speak Americano. I love Italian wine.
That's beautiful still. It's got a lot of grime on it. Just got to get through it.
Sembra un'altra Italia dove si dice I love you. California Room. California Room. California Room. I dream about a day when in Italia tornerò coi fiori nei capelli.
All I want to do is clean this because there's no paint really left. If I tried to polish this, I'd just end up with metal. So all I want to do is clean it, and I think I'm going to wipe it with a little linseed oil, and we'll be done.
I love sunny California.
What I'm putting on here right now is linseed oil because, like I said before, there's not enough paint here to polish it. So I'm going to just wipe it down and seal it with the linseed oil. It gets rid of a lot of the oxidation and just keeps it clean and doesn't take away the paint. I don't know how often I'll have to reapply this, but it sure does help it to look nice. I'm afraid to try and polish it. I know that I could make some of the paint look decent with just putting some wax on it and cleaning it, but I think once this linseed oil has been on here, the next time I might try a little wax. But this seems to work pretty good. Well, really, all I did was clean the 32 today. It's not completely finished. I've still got a lot of detailing to do on it, but big difference from what it was this morning to now. And you know, even as a kid, I was never really into doing mechanical work because you could work on a car for 10 hours mechanically, it may run better, but it still look the same. I love getting things to where they look better than they did. You know, I don't mind an old car, but I don't like a dirty car. I'm happy that the car is clean now, and now I know what I've got, and I see what I need to go in and detail and fix. So go ahead and check it out. I'll open the door. You can see the interior. I'm really happy with the way the dash cleaned up, the steering wheel and the steering column, and I got all that dog hair out of there. I've got one seat cover on it. I need to find 2 mediums and put those on, but what I really need to do is I want to find that original fabric and see if I can sew up some seat backs for the front seats and maybe fix a couple of the areas. But if I can find some old fabric that matches, or some old seat covers that were pulled off of a car, I've got a few friends that save some of those old parts. If I can find those original seat covers, it'd be great to put them on this car.
When the day is done, homeward we'll be wending, like a movie with a happy ending. Let's ride into the sunset together, stirrup to stirrup, side by side.